I'm so sorry. Thank you, Lasagna, for pointing it out. Yes, okay. Let's start from the top. Welcome to Running Train. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you've had a lovely day so far, and hope that it only gets better with this stream. We're back on Running Train after last week's interesting experience. It was good. It was fun, but yeah, the game's very demanding in terms of skill. Now, not to imply that there's not, not to imply that there's a lack of skill around here, but just that the game demands a lot of it. That's it. And we are at level 8. I'm assuming 85,106 points is the amount of points to get to level 9, as opposed to I could have earned 85,000 and I've only earned 81,630 so far. I don't know what the zero point 0.0 kilometers is about, because we've definitely traversed a lot more than 0 kilometers. So I guess we'll find out eventually. Lasagna, how are you doing, my man? Feel like it's been quite a while. Now we are in 0.9.2b. I feel like the the developer has realized there might be quite a few updates before the full release. And after just 2, he was already on 0.9.2. So unless he's going to go 0.9.2.1, I think he saw the need to add a letter. So there's not really much that's new. You're doing good. That's great to hear, Lasagna, man. That's very good to hear, man. Not too much that's different here. Just for a stop marker overlay, rather than just being a 2D marker, you can get a 3D marker, which I believe is like you see things on the ground. I think I'm gonna leave it at 2D. You know, I gave it a quick try with the 3D. It was cool, but I just thought it was a bit unnecessary for me personally. We're on DLSS. I'm trying DLSS balance. So last time we were on DLSS performance. I'm trying balance. I'm gonna have my frame thing up above as well, so I can keep an eye on that. And if we hold a steady 60, then I may try and even push it to quality. I keep being tempted to mess around with the dynamic global illumination. I'm going to leave it as it is. FPS limit should be 60. I didn't even notice that. Let's apply what we've got so far. Audio, leaving everything on 100. Input device. I mean, as much as I'm tempted to use my controller just to sort of give it a go, I'm just going to leave it, I think. I'm happy with the controls on keyboard. You're also playing Running Train right now. What level are you, Lasagna? So I think without much further ado, go to start driving. So from last week, we've got 2 Bs, 3 Bs, 4 Bs on the Sankai main line. You don't know? Okay. We've got 4 Bs, and on the Fukugawa line, we've got B, C, and D. Now, the D and C, realistically, I think we're just, probably my first 2 runs, I would assume. And then I think one of these Bs were in my first few runs as well. So I'm going to put it down to that. And what I think we'll do is I'll just work my way down the services. Can you see well in game? Yeah, if you look at the bottom right. Well, I mean, if you mean by in game, like during a service, I don't know. But you can definitely see it in the menu. So I'll work my way down. And I'll do like 1 run on one line, 1 run on the other line as well. So we'll do, for example, this one. We'll start off with this one, local 728F. And then we'll go into this one, local 578. I really am tempted to redo these ones, but like, there's no point. I mean, if it's just to get a B, I might as well wait till I'm good enough to get like S or A and then redo them. Otherwise, I'll redo them to get a B, then redo them to get an A, then redo them to get an S. If we get that far, that's quite optimistic. I've got no idea if you can while driving lasagna. I'll be honest, boss. Okay, so we'll do this little line over here. 12-minute run, 7:35 in the morning. 7 stops, 12 minutes, 6.2 kilometers, and we do have a crossing at some point. We are going to start. So it's an early morning service, right? Let's do a two-car formation. And I'm going to use this livery because it looks like a DBIC livery. We'll have it in spring. Clear, you know, beautiful morning. And let's go. I barely remember the buttons, if I'm being honest. I think it's QAZ for the acceleration, MNB for the braking, and E for ATS, H for the headlights, space for the whistle. Quite a simple thing, really. Waiting for 7:35 to depart. I'm actually quite surprised by how well the game looks using DLSS. I'm on a 3080 Ti, so you know, I think the DLSS on my card, it hasn't really got the capabilities of like the later cards, and yet it still handles what it handles very, very well. Right, let's get going. On to Okamachi with an 80km/h limit to start us off. Oops. I need to really work on my speeding. I was just keeping an eye on it. I was focused elsewhere though. So are the lines to the left the high speed one? I guess so. That's quite cool. Just stopped within 16 centimeters of the stop marker. Nice one. My best so far is 0.07. Which, getting that in my first 3 hours of game time, I think that's pretty cool. I wish it gave you a bit more leeway with regards to stopping, but we are in Japan, right? Oh god, this is horrible. Oh, whoa. God damn it. Off the rip, we need to reverse a little bit. It takes like a split second for the brakes to kick in. I need to bear that in mind. I do wonder if we'll get at some point the ability to interact with the cab. I really need to keep an eye on like speed changes, just everything basically. It requires a lot more attention than what like TSW requires, for example. Talking of TSW, we finally have a release date for Trent Valley. That's very cool. Hello Rambo, how you doing? Try 20 kilometers per hour entering the platform. I think that's what I was doing last week. But I think I was in a situation in the end where I was coming in too slowly. What you really need to do ideally is just find a balance. Because you can enter it even slower than that and still fail. Ask me how I know. And you can enter it quicker than that and, you know, do quite well. And you need to manage that with the time, with the schedule as well. It's definitely quite the learning curve. Definitely quite the learning curve. For you, 30 to 40 works best. Yeah, I think, I'm sure there is like a perfect way to do it. And I'm low-key waiting for it to be uploaded on Steam. Like someone to create a guide for like when to start braking, like how far away from the station you should brake, how hard you should brake. I am waiting for that guide to come out. It has to, because this is a game where precision actually matters. Oh, or even if PCG Rail was to get involved with running train, and then he could drop game on when you should brake and slow down, etc. Okay, I slowed down way too early. That's okay. It's one of those games where you actually need to play daily for hours, and you will reach, you know, a state of perfection, but it will take you that long. I guess it won't be the same for everyone, right? We made it in good time, so we've got 20 seconds. We're holding a solid 60 still. Tempted to go to a more demanding DLSS setting. 0.12. I usually maintain 20 to 25 entering the platform and keep step 1 braking until the last 20 meters. That makes sense. I think so far, if I had to say a particular technique I use, I think so initially I was entering very, very, very safely. But I think what I'm trying to do now is enter a bit quicker, slow down heavily once the train is in the platform, and then relax on the brakes a little bit as we get closer to the stop marker. And then when it's like 10 or so meters, just go ham on the brakes and hope for the best. Completely forgot about the speed limit. Can't afford to be doing that, man. How am I going to get an S score like this? How am I going to get my 1,000 gifted subs? Whoops, that's brakes. Jesus Christ. Lock in. I'll be surprised if I get a B for this one. Like, you play this long enough, you will find a pattern. .99 meters is crazy. Can't even say that's not luck, innit? That's ridiculous. Right, make sure everything's reset. I do like the fact that the clock they have is like a stopwatch. I think that's pretty cool. I've realized what you can actually do as well is while the doors are open, you can just release the brakes, put the throttle on full, and the train's like brakes will hold you while the doors are still open. And then the minute the doors close, it'll just start moving. If you want to save milliseconds. Try this on heavy rain makes it even harder. Yeah, I honestly, I wouldn't have expected them to. I say them. I wouldn't have expected the dev to like model like wheel slip and stuff, and he actually has. Same with like gradients as well. As you can see, we're slowing down at quite a rate going uphill. Like, he's really done something special, man. Really done something special. Yeah, well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it is modeled. And I don't think people would have necessarily been mad if it wasn't modeled. Like, I think people would have been okay with that, considering it's one dev and the game looks as beautiful as it is. You know, the sounds are spot on. But it just shows, like, you know, the level of passion and dedication that the dev had. I hope it doesn't take too long for passengers to make their first appearance. I am surprised that we are managing to stick to schedule. I think it is quite a lenient schedule. I do wonder if this was like a one-to-one route, you know, from like reality with a one-to-one timetable to the real one. I do wonder how lenient the timetable would be in comparison. Not very, I don't think. I think that's the last stop for this one. Let's see PCG Roll. Yeah, I'd love just to see like a video about it from him and just hear like his opinions on it. I think it would be a really popular video of his. But then again, he doesn't really like. He wouldn't sell the video as that particular guide. He would just do it as like a route learning guide, which doesn't really give the vibe that people would be looking for. Like, if he was to title it something not even necessarily baity, but just like stopping guide, for example, running train stopping guide, I think you'd get so many more views. Right, got this one. We might see a sunrise with this one. How about we do spring? with a bit of rain. And let's drive. Let's do a 6-car formation. And let's do a reverse of the colors we just had, kind of. You know what? Maybe a guide that I've been talking about. Maybe it has been released. Also, I was gonna change the DLSS and I completely forgot. I'm just gonna head out real quick, do that, and then we'll get back in because I think it causes like an excess usage of RAM. Apparently, from what I've read, if you change the settings during a run and not just like in the menu. I'm gonna put it all the way to no. Maybe let me just leave it at quality because I think it was native that was giving us some issues. So we put it to quality and see how we do. Are you still regularly playing Simrail, Rambo? Don't know how much you're gonna see of the train. I'd also really love to see more AI. Some will slip. Or maybe not. Felt like we were coming in a little bit hot initially. Now it turns out we weren't coming in hot at all. GPU utilization is up in the 90s, which is good. not getting any bottlenecks though. Little Sinker! Thank you very much for the raid, my man. How are you doing? How is your stream? Welcome to All the Sunk. I think it's better than the Drowned, innit? The Sunk. There's still some mysterious, like, thing about it. But it makes more sense. Hello, Jordy. How you doing? ASR, how you doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yes, if I get a single S score, I'm owed 1,000 gifted subs by chat. We'd rather drown than sink. It's too late. See, the thing is about life, you don't get to choose your fate. See that? It rhymed. See, I didn't choose to be a rapper, but here we are. So let's see, 3 notches. Okay, we are slipping. Okay, so why weren't we slipping before then? Because I did feel like I accelerated quite aggressively out of the first station. So not really any consequence. Now we're good. Who is getting an escort, Jordy? That's a good question, mate. I'd rather be faithful. So it can't be me. Maybe it's ASR. Hello, Carda. YouTube subs. You know, Nabil wouldn't hesitate to tell you that I had a goal of 2,000 subs in 2024. We won't talk about what happened with that. I should probably move my camera a bit, shouldn't I? I'll move it a bit more when I stop somewhere. I said if I get an escort, chat owes me 1,000 gifted subs. No. Because that's just a trap, isn't it? Absolutely not. Although, you know, if someone was to take that idea and run with it, you are more than welcome. That would be quite the excuse, isn't it? Damn. If only I'd thought about it a few years ago. Anyway. Coming into Takahashi. How's our stop gonna be here? How they're showing me all sorts of things. This might actually be pretty smooth. I do have a tendency to talk too fast though. Talk too fast, talk too soon. But you know what? God damn it. Almost. We almost got it. That wasn't bad at all though. Am I sleeping though? What do you mean am I sleeping? What does that even mean? Oh yeah. There we go. My stand thingy that I've got my camera on is a lot more stiff than you might think. Probably shouldn't have mentioned the word stiff after talking about escorts, but here we are. What is the rules with horns? Is it you just sound the horn at whistle posts, or is there like a rule for leaving a station or entering a station? Like how, for example, in New York, in the New York routes in TSW, I think it's whether you're stopping or not at a station, you're meant to sound your horn. I ain't got time for all of that. I mean, I do tend to abide by that. What I don't tend to abide by when playing TSW and US route specifically are the whistle posts for like when I'm driving a freight train. It's just too much. It's like every 5 seconds. And it's not just like a normal horn where you just do a high tone and a low tone or maybe a little mixture of the two. No. It's a whole like melody that you need to play with the horns. And I'm assuming, well, I think it's more an assumption. It is quite obviously like a safety thing. And yet, still, like, how many collisions are there in the US at crossings? At that point, just do something normal, man. Sounding a horn for 30 seconds for somebody to leave their trailer parked on the crossing. What's the point? Okay, I feel like I'm being a bit too cautious again. I'm doing that thing, but time-wise, we're not doing too badly. US car culture. Yeah, US car culture is very interesting. Depending on, you know, what angle you approach it. You think by now I would have nailed down like the braking to at least get within a meter. Not yet, apparently. You know what? This level of wheel slip isn't too bad. You're not losing too much speed. You're not grinding the wheels too much. I think we're good to accelerate out of stations in notch 3, or maybe notch 2 till about 10 k's, and then go into notch 3 from there. Not speeding would help as well. Doing things smoothly may seem like a reasonable approach. Not really. I was initially thinking, yeah, let me just smoothly brake from 70 kilometers an hour. Take my time. Nah, man, I would have ended up coming into the station about 30 seconds late. At some point, I do need to start focusing on passenger comfort, although realistically, can I focus on passenger comfort when there's no passengers to be comfortable? I think that's my excuse. I like that it tells you on the stop at location on the top right. I like that it tells you like your stop marker. I didn't notice that until now. I'm a big fan. Poland is re-establishing line 666. To hell. Is that something that could make an appearance in Simrail? Oh no, I believe you. See what with you ASR, when you say something that sounds outlandish, it's usually true. And then when you say something that sounds reasonable, it's usually not. So I believe you completely. It's a peninsula in the Baltic Sea. Why was it closed in the first place? This is beautiful. This is exactly what I wanted. I wanted to go into the sunrise with a bit of rain, you know. One of those days, you know. One of those mornings. You know it's going to be a wet and dreary day. I know it's not exactly the stuff of fantasy. But it's quite a cool atmosphere to replicate in game. Roscoe, oh my god, long time. How are you? Hello, just not tell me you prefer Roblox over this game. I feel like you've heard that from somebody. Who has said that they prefer Roblox to this game? I don't prefer Roblox to this game. No, don't worry. You're not going to hear that from me. You're not going to hear that from me. The line is called Highway to Hell. I'm assuming no relation to the song. Really long, but you were lucky. Don't ever apologize, man. Don't ever apologize. Honestly, you know, when you're averaging 3 viewers over 3 hours, I appreciate, you know, lurking, not lurking. As long as you're here, you know, I appreciate your presence, man. Hope that you've been well. Yeah, hope that you've been looking after yourself. I'm looking forward to the bus tomorrow, you know. That cheeky Hamburg extension. I never thought I'd be saying this, but now, you know, Fernbus is now back on the radar as well with their England DLC. They released some photos today, either today or yesterday, of Birmingham. And I can't say whether they're super accurate or not, but just the fact that it's England, it makes it an attractive proposition. It'd be cool if that boss was playing. Oh my god, that bus, bro. You know, this whole time I've been thinking you're talking about a railway line. Oh, we're coming in quite hot, you know. I'm trusting in these brakes. One thing I will say with all of the trains that I've driven so far, even the one with the lapsed brakes, which I need to remember how that works, is the brakes are quite good. Arguably, maybe OP. You know what? I'm going to start focusing on, like, passenger comfort. No, there's no point. There's no point. I won't. Let me just enjoy the flow. And then, when there's actual passengers in the game, I can start, you know, looking into that. I think I've been stopping fairly smoothly. For the most part. It hasn't been perfect. It's been okay. Can't wait to hear the German passenger voices in England. My guy, with all the time they've had to develop that, and let's be real, between the last DLC and this one, it's been a very long time. If they haven't, oh my god, I'm gonna have to make another rant video on YouTube, just like I did for Subway Sim 2. And funnily enough, you know, I'm not saying my videos have any influence, but Subway Sim 2 isn't as bad as it was that day. I also do need to make an update video because I feel like if I'm going to be super critical about something and then that thing is no longer that bad, I think that needs to be addressed. They differ from rain to dry. What does the break-in, Ross Goods? Whoa, Dan. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yesterday's stream would argue that point. Now, if we're talking specifically being a train driver, then you'd be absolutely correct. How are you? Oh, time and distance. I didn't even know that. Whoops, that's not what I meant to be doing. If they could do it to France, they could do it to England. I wonder if hearing German voices in France in Fernbus is a suppressed memory. Because France was one of the few DLCs I had for Fernbus. And I definitely spent some time driving through there. As horrific and as terrible as that DLC is, I have spent some time there. And I don't recall that at all. Maybe I was too busy fussing about how boring the map was. I think France is one of the worst. France in Fernbus is one of the worst DLCs I've encountered in a game. And I play TSW. One could also argue all the paint job DLCs for the SES games. But I don't think people are ready for the SES slander. Every time I hate this, but every time I see anything Fernbus related, I can't explain it. Something within me wants to revisit it. Something in me wants to revisit it and waste time on it to see that it's as horrible as I had left it and uninstall it. I don't know what it is. I can't tell you what it is, but it's something. Els 17 man, yeah man. Shout out to Little Cinco the Raids. Gave the stream a huge boost. How you doing, my bro? Probably late, but Dev had 16 gigabyte DDR4. Put him in. Really? How interesting. How interesting. Even then, though, even with that being the case, it's ridiculous. Like it truly is ridiculous. Maybe that had a part to play in him initially doing some optimization work. But for this entire game to be less than 3 gigabytes and run as well as it does, as it looks how it looks, it's that's black magic. Like, it gets to a point where we're no longer operating in the physical realm. It's ridiculous. I just hope that other devs that utilize Unreal Engine do take some lessons and maybe are humble enough to approach the dev and say, look, you know, what you've done here is amazing. Could you give us some, you know, some pointers, some tips? It takes a lot of humility. But it would work in everyone's favor. That, you know, those devs would improve. The players of those games would benefit as well. Like, from a player point of view, it's a no-brainer, really. Today's different. We're ready to protest. The big boss apparently believes we spend 30% of our time doing one thing and 70% not doing our job. What's he basing that off? He's seen something that's made him think that, right? Or heard something that's made him think that. So what's going on there? I spent like 200 euros all in Fernbus DLC. What a shame and regret, bro. Yeah, I've only got like a few DLCs, and I regret dearly spending money on them. And I'm searching up and down on how to get my hands on the DLCs without spending a penny, and I will do that. So when you see me stream Fernbus when the England DLC comes out and I've got all the DLCs, don't ask questions. Just enjoy the content. And it never goes on. Okay, I think it does go on sale, but never for a good enough price, which is really annoying. Like, it's like they're so stubborn. They really truly believe that their game and its content is worth the price they ask for, and it never goes on sale. It's ridiculous. Although, here's the thing that annoys me about today's games. I say today's games, it's been a thing for like decades. There are some things in that game, yeah. Let's take, for example, the road sounds. If you've ever done a long journey, I'm talking hours, like 3-4 hours minimum, and you've done that journey on a highway. I don't know if in Germany you would get this, because the German roads are beautiful. But in other parts of Europe, in the UK for sure, there's different textures on the roads. You hear different sounds from the tires, from the road. I've never heard a game replicate that specifically as well as Fernbus has. I don't know, like I can imagine how they've done it, but what prompted them to focus on that so much? I understand it's a game where you're driving from city to city for hours, but still, you look at the rest of the game and it's just trash. You look at the rest of the sounds and it's just trash. And yet somehow the highway sounds, dare I say, are very close to perfect, in my opinion. Very close to perfect. And it's annoying me that no other game has replicated that. Like, if ETS2 or ATS had copied those sounds, or just added them, copied them and added them to what they already have, oh my lord. I keep saying it whenever I play those games. The sounds play such a huge part in the immersion of those games that it would improve the experience so much. The price going up. I don't even start to develop a map knowing how slow the Unreal Engine editor is. Really, it seems like for how often it's used and how widely it's used, there are a lot of various issues with Unreal Engine. CSW, the devs will tell you the stutters are because of how Unreal Engine loads things. People who work with it will tell you, oh my god, I'm pressing the wrong button. I was meant to be doing the brakes and I was doing the throttle. This is going to be a horrible break. A horrible stop, I think. People who like develop on Unreal Engine in their spare time. I probably shouldn't have done that. We're just going to be slipping and slipping and slipping. God damn it, man. I have never seen this. I've gone so badly they're giving me a timer to go back. Yeah, devs who will work on it in their spare time, like I'm pressing E, by the way, to silence the chime, and it's not doing anything. I'll go back to the station and we'll see if it continues. But yeah, I just hear so much bad things about Unreal Engine, and yet it's used as much as it is. I think ultimately it does just come down to skill. A lot of the time it's just a skill issue, let's be honest. Because when you see something like this, you know, like this is basically a demo. This just looks like a demo, like an Unreal Engine demo. It doesn't look like a... you wouldn't think this is a complete game. This has really hurt our scheduling. It's going to be like an F grade, surely. They don't have any sales. From the Netherlands, German roads are... Really? Germany's known for good roads, though, no? And are Dutch roads that good that you guys can crap on German roads? There's a restructuring happening, and it means hopefully we won't report to him. If I'm gonna say what I feel about him here. I hear it, man. I hear it. Honestly, the reality is, and I've said this before, not everyone that's in a managerial position is a manager. Not everyone that's in a CEO position is a CEO. I encountered a whole lot of that while I was working as a cleaner. People who you just think, how on earth are you here? You have to know a guy who knew a guy who knew a guy who knew a guy. Because it just doesn't make any sense. No speed limit, no existence. I think I've heard it on the Autobahn, but also on like some country roads as well. Like when I watch like driving content creators, and they'll be driving around like country roads in Germany, they usually compliment them the same way. I thought I had no social skills. You thought you had no social skills? What do you mean? I do think some people are just stuck up their own behinds as well. Then you've got like the other type of overseer who is of the firm belief that everyone in a lower position than them is lower as a human being and will treat them as such. Ultimately, mate, you know, do what you're doing for you. But yes, ultimately there is a hierarchy to answer to. But do what you do for yourself, man. Do it to the best of your ability for you, not for someone else. Let the fact that you do have to answer to someone else just be like a side thing. A side quest. Talking of side quests, is there any ETA on when the Witcher 3 DLC will come out? I look forward to streaming that. I played through that game way before I started streaming. So I think it's going to be quite a cool experience. I think it will be a better one than KCD. More than 10 kilometers road work, if 80 kilometers limit. But there's not a lot of roadworks in Germany, no? I think it's the first time I've seen that stereotype, or I've heard of that stereotype. I do it to get paid. Do I like getting customization sorted? Yes. That's not paying me, I'm away. I mean, ultimately, that is like the number one driver, right? Unless it's something you're super, super passionate about. And hey, if you're super, super passionate about forklifts, you know, more power to you. But ultimately, yes, that is the first driver. But then even beyond that, there has to be something more driving you, right? Because money alone, you'll get bored fairly quickly doing what you do. Although there's no arguing, the freedom that comes with is quite nice. And funnily enough, or I guess ironically, I'm leaning more and more towards going full-time at work. I don't think I complain too much about life or like my circumstance, but there is a lot of thinking that goes on mentally in my head, and calculating and conclusions and plans, etc, 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 as a, you know, I guess just as a man, but as a husband, a father, and it just makes more and more sense to go that route. I love the fact that I'm streaming like as often as I do, and I would love to go back to streaming twice a day, but it's not putting food on the table, man. Not for me, not for my family. And it's weird because I'm thinking about it more seriously than I ever have. So even for me, it's like, whoa. Even as the person thinking it, it's like, oh snap. How can you have a passion for forklifts? How can you have a passion for planes? Yes, it's a popular thing, but how can you have a passion for planes? How can you have a passion for trains? How can you have a passion for cars? You just do, you know? Someone who has a passion for forklifts may be so baffled at how someone can have a passion for football, as an example. Maybe not the most likely example, but an example nonetheless. My point is, it's the principle. Can have a passion for anything, really. Oh my god, voice crack. Passion is helping people. Then you know what? I think you've got so many doors open for you, Dan, in that regard. That is such a cool passion to have as well. I mean, you might be taking the piss, Els, but I would ask that. Like, if Dan was to tell me, like, you know what, I actually do have a passion for forklifts, I'd be very curious as to why. Like, what do you mean? Well, you know, is it the way they lift pallets? Is it their sexy turn ratio? Well, you know, what is it about them? I've fucked this up, by the way. This is a horrible run, man. This is a really horrible run. You know what else isn't wrong, you know, Dan? Like, working as an emergency, like, service crew is one of the epitomes, I think, of helping people. Like, you literally save lives, bro. Save lives, you save people's loved ones. Actually a very goated occupation. You don't know about a feds? I mean, you can hate on them all you like, bro. But if someone's to come in now and burgle your house, it's not the ambulance you're gonna call for help. I saw a post. I think it was on Instagram. Instagram? No, I deleted that. TikTok. That's the only social media I've got left. TikTok and Discord. I saw a post on TikTok. Basically, I think it was just thanking like emergency services, and then someone in the comments was like, yeah, doctors and just the ambulance service and firefighters, cool. The other one, yeah, not so much. And I just thought to myself, okay, cool, you think you're a little bad man, but ultimately, if someone's to come and, you know, rob your mum's watch, you're going to call the police. If someone was to take your phone, on an e-bike on Tottenham Court Road, you're not gonna ride out. You will call the police. I can imagine you being a Fed, Els. I see you as a Fed, you know. I think you could pull it off. I think I think I've been a bit complacent with these stops. I think I need to go back to playing it safe. I think rolling into a station at 20 kilometers an hour is better than having to reverse. It's just embarrassing. Absolutely embarrassing having to reverse. And I was just talking about the timetable being quite lenient, and here I am late. It's just embarrassing. False promises after. What, as in like they'll solve your case? Realistically, if it's not like murder, it's not gonna happen. But hey, like, you know, they'll throw in a bit of resources here and there at the issue. I mean, when my pet got robbed, and I called them about it, they didn't really do anything about it. But when it was found, at least I knew like what happened to it in the end. It would have taken a miracle for it to have gotten back to me in the same way it vanished. More of a fear of being killed for being a snitch. And I mean, yeah, if we're living a particular lifestyle. You know what I found absolutely diabolical? When I'll be watching those videos on TikTok or Instagram, where it's like footage from like an interview room, and it will just be like a gang member that's like snitching. Why do they release those videos? That's so crazy. Because they're just setting the guy up. It's like, cool, he's gone free because he's given up his people. But he's not really free. He was better off keeping quiet, serving 15, 20 years and remaining alive than doing quote-unquote the right thing and being killed for it. Irishman working for government agencies. I think an Irish person working in a government agency would be a great experience. Especially if you were to do so in the UK. I feel like the accent alone would just like quell any issues and remove any tension. You would say is the worst for that? No, all those videos I've seen are from the US. All of them. I've never seen any. To be honest, I've never seen a UK equivalent of those videos at all. In rare cases, for like big cases. But in the US, it's like part of like daytime TV. I think an Irish accent would be the best for like a paramedic, because it would just divert your focus from whatever pain or trauma that you've experienced. I'm not keeping track of what trains I've driven and what trains I haven't. Because that train with the lapsed brakes, I've only driven it once. In like coming up to 10 hours of gameplay. By the way, the 1,000 gifted subs thing, as part of the terms and conditions of that, if you're here and you witness me get an S score, shorty, then it's part of the terms and conditions that you're obliged to participate. I didn't make the rules, unfortunately, so I'm really disappointed in my performance for this one. I feel like I could have done so much better if I had just been a bit more cautious. You live and you learn. What are my thoughts on the police? Honestly, aside from like the bad apples, I think a lot of the issues come from higher up. I think as well, like a lot of the videos where I've seen issues that people have had with police and, you know, like tensions during like a stop and search or just police dealing with a matter and you know, the person's recording it. I think a lot of it just comes from people's non-compliance. I think the minute you comply and just, you know, treat them as people, they'll treat you the same way. But the minute you want to be a prick, I mean, it's not the wisest idea to do that with someone who has legally got a lot more power than you do over you. But I don't know. I don't deal with them to like really know. I'm a bit confused. I'm a bit confused because when I was running at 30 FPS, it was at native DLAA, and I can't imagine the difference between native DLAA and DLSS quality is 30 frames. But with DLSS quality, I've held 60 like the entire way. So am I gonna now go to 30 because I've gone to DLAA? And if I do stick at to 60, then I'm gonna go to Lumen Ultra. I don't care about the warnings. I do what I want. Right, let's go back to Fukugawa. That's my worst score yet. That's embarrassing. I'm just going to ignore that, actually. And we drove the KR 5000 before, right? Let's do the 1100. No, did we not just do the 1100? Or was that the 1500 that we just did? Anyway, I'm doing the 1100. Winter, but clear. Or partly cloudy. No, clear. S scores are not handed out like candy. Platinum medals is another train game. No, I hear it. That's why 1,000 gifted subs. I think it makes sense, doesn't it? Like if I've done that well, then I deserve it. Oh, here we go. Lap breaks. This is the one. Okay. Let's see how much I remember. Headlights on. Horn works. Oh, this is so good looking. Also, for those who aren't aware, I noticed last week your driver, you can only see it from the outside view because here, obviously, he's invisible. But from the outside view, your driver actually like pushes the throttles and the brakes and stuff like that, like all the handles, like properly, not just in games where like in driving games, the shifting sometimes like yeah the animation's there, but it's very basic. It's not actually replicating first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. In this one, the driver is actually like pushing the throttle more and like bringing it back when you're bringing down the throttle and stuff like that. It's amazing. I wish there was a way to actually have to see the character model. Okay, so is there just no wheel slip like at the first station? I'm holding a steady 60. How on earth? How on earth was I at 30? All the settings are the same. I'm pretty sure. Okay, I'm gonna max out the game. I'm gonna turn that lumen setting to ultra. Let's see how good this game can really look. Have you had a negative interaction with no. Nah. But I've also just been completely compliant and like friendly with them when I have dealt with them. So I never invited, like there was never a reason for a negative experience, if that makes sense. Oh god damn it, man. Oh, you know what? It's not as bad as I thought it was gonna be. How did that happen? I thought I had mucked that up completely. Same guy who says he can notice the difference between 30 and 60 FPS. But no, but hear me out, Nabil. Right now, bro, I'm playing in the same settings that I was playing at when I was getting 30. And as you can see, there's a 60. So I'm thinking, I was playing at 60, but the numbers were being reported to me wrong. Surely it can't be me in the wrong. Also, my GPU usage seems to be lower than it was previously with DLSS. Sounds are really good, you know. Don't know how accurate they are, but they're very believable. Very interesting indeed, Nabil. Very interesting. I'm literally playing that exact same settings. The only difference is my FPS is no longer, like my FPS target is no longer unlimited, and I'm not playing in full screen. But I think that was the case anyway, already. .17. I don't know if I can beat that 0.07 that I got last week. That was just ridiculous. Have you had a negative experience, Els, with them? crossing went down a bit late. Odd experience in terms of pulling me over with no reason, and their justification why they came to the car, saw a family in the car and threw them walks away. So they saw it didn't make sense. Interesting. Maybe they just shot their shot. But at least they walked away when they realized there was no reason to, you know, bother you, basically. Rather than, because you do get those who will try and force it, like to save face and to save their embarrassment. They'll try and make a problem when there isn't one. A friend of mine got the impulse and he did not know he needs Vodge to be able to drive it properly. I mean, even with Vodge, can he drive it properly? It's debatable, man. I think I want to do Simrol soon. Next week is going to be Trent Valley. So I don't think it's going to be next week. So probably the week after. Probably 3rd week of June. And by then, my hunger or my thirst would have built up a little bit more for it as well. Just remembered in time that we've got a 20 km/h limit here. I'm not gonna lie, I'm thinking we're looking at an A grade here. It would be me to do better with a harder system. In a game that's all about braking, I'll somehow do good with lapped brakes. And I guess like once you understand lap brakes, they become a part and parcel of the experience, but they're still a lot more complex than the basic ones. What do you think of the photos for that, Nabil? I'm not gonna lie, bro. I'm looking forward to trying it out. I think I'll just stay within England, though. I don't think I'll be exploring Europe. Or who knows, man? Maybe, you know, I'll start playing Fernbus again and I fall in love with it. And then I'm now aiming for 100% map exploration. Brookside looks fake. I thought it looks pretty good, in my opinion. Turn a corner and they was behind, so with no hood up, because I'm thinking it's going to be more of me in the car. I was like, I'm homeless with myself and myself, 2 kids. Yeah, they tried it, man. They tried it. I'll be honest, man. Like, every time I've been pulled over, it's been legit. Like, my worst one was when I was like, I think I was like 20, 21. And I was driving with no license, no insurance, no tax, no MOT. Nothing. There was nothing. like that I was doing right. And they pulled me over. Obviously, the system's gonna say like the truth, and I was just denying everything. No, I've got my license. I got it. I got it 2 months ago. I'm not quite sure why it doesn't show. I don't know what I said about insurance. I had an excuse for the MOT. I said I was driving back from like the MOT center to book an appointment. And of all the BSing that I was doing, they were actually decent. For some reason, they wanted to question my friend who was in the passenger seat, and he was just like, no. And they were just cool with that as well. Like, I should have got a bollocking, really, from them. But they were quite cool. I think it's because I was, like, quite convincing as well with what I was saying. And then he asked me, or one of them, because it was two of them, asked me the most basic question to try and see whether I was lying or not. What color is your license? But who doesn't know? Not like it's pink. Well, it's a given. So obviously he said pink. Maybe if I was a 4-year-old, you could have caught me out with that one. Bro said I'm just a thug. That's the worst thing I've done, like, that I've been caught for. What do you mean? Am I running as late as I just saw? It's like, what's it, 12:06 in the game? Oh, damn. Yeah. Poland looked like that too. Look how it turns. You know what? I actually don't remember Poland, but Switzerland looks good though. I think Switzerland and Austria as well. But I think it's harder to make them look bad in a game than it is to make them look good. I should have said he was colorblind, but I got the answer right though. So I didn't need to do all of that. It was just dumb, man. Bro said just West things. The annoying thing is, I was going to do my driving test. Well, I did do my driving test 2 weeks after that. So my excuse is just I was driving around to keep my mind like fresh. Because I'd finished all my lessons by that. No, I had one more lesson, I think. One more driving lesson. Quote 4 is the highlight of that sentence. Take that how you want, man. They did let me go, yeah. I just took my stuff from the car and walked. They took the car, obviously. And they were like, yeah, come back with proof of insurance and license. And you can go and get it. Otherwise, it's going to be destroyed. I felt heartbroken, man, because I really loved that car. I really, really loved that car. So I just accepted that, yeah, man, like, you know, it is what it is, man. 17% driving quality is diabolical. And I still got a B. So yeah, I was really sad about that. 3 or 4 years pass, and a letter comes through the door. Addressed to me. Okay. So I open up this letter, and it's from a borough in Liverpool. And they said, hey, here's a picture of your car driving through some bridge and you didn't pay the toll fee. I said, huh? And there it is in the picture. Truly the car that I was told would be destroyed, that I was very sad about being destroyed. So I guess the police can also be liars. Right, completely maxed out now settings, balls to the wall. The game is warning me about that setting. Let's see how it looks. 4K. On a 3080 Ti, that's insane. Bro's a typical thug. Ye without sin. Cast the first stone. Bro, look at this, man. Smooth. Bro, what the heck? Let's see how long it lasts. Back in the same train that we just drove. How come he knows the next 3 routes when they're not announced for 2027 at the earliest? Are you talking about the developer of the game? Okay, we're in the high 50s now. Uh-oh. Back to 60. It actually does look even better. Jesus Christ. I'm hoping at least like a quarter of the quality shows up on stream, honestly. Low 50s now, 53. I would have noticed on an FPS counter. You know what it is, Nabil? And I know this is going to sound like such a cop-out excuse here, but this is my genuine theory. Motion blur. I have motion blur on. And I genuinely think that masked the frame rate. I've still got it on. I'm in my motion blur era again. How's the new James Bond game, Els? Worth a cop? Does it run smoother than Microsoft Flight Sim for you? You love Hitman? Hitman is a very fun game. That's one title I've never like tried before, ever. Ah, I bought this, man. No, I didn't. Oh my days. There's no way, boss. Come on, man. New James Bond game is more on rails than your average trains. I've seen a few clips of it so far. There seems to be a lot of car advertising. And it does also give off Hitman vibes. From what I've seen as well. I did, I was asking how is it and if it performs better on your PC than Flight Sim. Well, all that means in the bill, unfortunately, I think, is that restaurants will just stop giving you anything that you can take home. You'll have what you'll have, you know, in the store. Sorry, in the building. And then that's it. It's not like they're now going to give you a bottle to take home with you. So that sucks. There's no game that performs worse than MSFS. OMSI performance is probably better. Absolutely not. I refuse to believe that. I refuse to believe that. OMSI 120 FPS guide. Bro, point me in that direction now. Please. I would bet that there's not a single system that can play OMSI at 120 frames. No chance. Create empty map to spawn your boss. Well, maybe with an empty map, yes. But then you spawn your boss, and then you go down to maybe 60 FPS if you're lucky. And then the game starts stuttering once you load in passengers. You get 90 on yours. How? On what route? I'm surprised that's coming from you, Nabil. You're the sovereign OMSI performance defender. I'm an OMSI defender for its sound and physics, not for the performance. Nah, bro. I'm not sure about that. Sounds and physics, yeah, absolutely. And you know, you'd be a fool not to defend that. But you've definitely defended the performance. Not as in said that 10 FPS and stuttering is okay, but you've denied the bad performance. Well, I don't drive London as well. Well, I do, but the stuttering happens on a lot more routes than just London. It's still quite sad that I didn't get to drive on the Pimlico route. That was one I really wanted to experience. What do you mean skill issue? Bremen Nord update coming out soon. What, a new timetable? Like a 2026 timetable? Yeah, I never drove it. I think I even had it installed. Or I had the files installed, but I just didn't do anything with them. It's entering its final phase. Oh, damn. Oh, interesting. So they're just adding onto the map then. You know what? For it to have been in development for 8 years, that's taking some dedication, man. Shout out to the devs, honestly. Well, the timetable's already 2026. Since when? Or has it just not changed? It's one person. It always is one person, isn't it, when something's done to such a... when you can see so much passion in something. You got updated at some point in late 2025. That is crazy, man. You know what I think kind of ruined Bremen Nord for me, low-key, was the fact that I only played it, and I think this goes for other routes as well. I only played it in economy mode, in the economy mod company, whatever you want to call it, bus company thing. So I only had access to like one line. So my knowledge of Bremen Nord is that one line, and that's it. So in my head, it seems like a really small and rubbish deal. It's not rubbish, but it seems like a really small DLC. I think I should have given some more time to single player. Even Thuringo Wild. There was a time when he told me like how much more there was, and I was shocked compared to what we had access to in the company. He has a good relationship with BSAG. I find it so cool when companies like that are willing to work with people. Especially this is one guy. It's not like he's come with a team or is representing a big company, you know? And like it's something that's going to be really big for BSAG. But yeah, they were still willing to work with him and help him out with, you know, with everything that he's needed. It's very cool, man. Really appreciate companies like that. I wonder if we'll start seeing mods for this game. I think that'll be really cool. Let the developer, you know, continue on with its plans for the game in terms of routes and lines and stuff. And then let people just do their own thing. Bro, you got you know you got your little train. You're a conductor. Have fun with that, man. That's cool, bro. It's a bit of fun, you know. Now, what is there for you to do as a mod? Even the build barely has anything to do, and he's carrying that weight by himself. Why are you trying to find out that piece of information? You need a side income. I'll tell you right now, bro. Being a mod here is not going to be that. What level would I have to be at to pay my mods? Well, a level where I'm earning enough to be able to do that. Like, it'd have to be income from Twitch, and I'd be using that money to pay mods. And at that point, I think paying would be necessary, considering where the streams would be at if I was earning that much. You bought the CD? That's so old school. That's so old school, but yeah, man. I don't think I've ever bought a CD for a PC game, if I remember correctly. Well, I do miss the feeling of doing so for like PlayStation 2 and 3 and reading the manual. Just getting that excitement. I can't tell you what that level would be, Els. And then also, would it be like an hourly fee? Would it be like a per stream fee? I think per stream would make sense. It would just depend on how much I'm earning, how much work the mods are doing, and what I feel would be like what I feel would make sense for that. It would just depend on that particular situation. But it's something I'm definitely willing to do at that level. 2017, the bill was not that long ago. Like, it's crazy that it was almost 10 years ago. But 2017 is not that long ago, man. Which one, Els? Not the one that you were trying to guilt me into plugging you, was it? That would be a little bit crazy. Scratch and bleed, so you binned it. Should have used toothpaste, man. Shout out to them old school hacks. I didn't know the other day whether you were serious about like me like plugging you for it or not. Do you actually like want me to help you with it in terms of getting it? A meeting? That's so cool, man. And for that to be like a one person like team as well. That's so cool. So cool. It's too strict to get a virus, Els. I hear that, bro. Play it safe. It's not for the faint of heart, I'll be honest. You've definitely already got what? Because you don't get good performance in MSFS. How you just firming a virus, bro? That's wild. Where's that diesel train? It's on the other line. I want to go back to this one. Let's have some snow. This guy's new to the game. There was one time when your PC was doing a madness. So what did you do for it to stop doing a madness? Slipping and sliding. We're in the build doing something to me until I realise I'm not rich. Ran a few virus checks, but nothing. Some of the issue went away. The way Windows Defender is on job these days, yeah, I highly doubt it was a virus. It's crazy how far it's come. Did the CPU issue? What, from like a year ago? Where you put your, not you put, you had to send your PC back. You got your weird suspicions about Nabil, but you're you gotta be careful, bro. Should have held the brakes a bit longer there. There are certain Trojans you can trust. What actually is a Trojan? Now, I know it's related to viruses. Is it something that hijacks up your PC? I don't think a CPU failing necessarily points to a virus or Nabil messing around with your system. Hello, TPR. What's the verdict? Better than TSW? It depends. It depends. You know, in terms of graphics quality, 1,000,000% yes. In terms of performance, 1,000,000% yes. Variety? No. Fictional versus non-fictional? Assuming that you would prefer non-fictional routes? No. So it does depend on what angle you're coming at that from. Overall, it's a more pleasant experience. Overall, it is a more pleasant experience, but there is the likelihoods, because of the lack of content overall, that you will get bored quicker / easier. Malicious software that pretends to be something safe or useful but actually harms your device or steals information. Okay, and you said that there are certain Trojans you can trust. Think of it like a fake app or a file that looks normal. Once you open it, it secretly does things in the background, like spying on you or installing other malware. It doesn't spread on its own like a virus, usually has to be tricked into installing it. Okay, it's quite a good explanation, to be fair. Alright, Els. Take care, my man. I was going to pick up the TSW6 Special Edition anyway, so there's a lot of content in the special Edition. There is, TPR, there is. If you can wait until September, is that even good advice? Am I going to give you good advice? Basically, there will be another TSW coming out, TSW7. Usually, there's no guarantee yet, but usually there's a free version that just comes out with like a little training route and a decent number of trains that you can drive there. So you can use that to like guide you on whether, you know, it's something that you want to invest time and money in, or you can just go ham and just get a special edition. Because regardless, your content is going to move over to TSW7. So only advice I have for you is go PC. And if you are going to do that, go Steam. And don't be afraid to dabble with mods as well. They will highly improve your experience. Wait for the summer sale if you're on busy. Nabil's advice is good as well. Wait for the summer sale. Yeah. You can get it at a steal. You can get the special edition at cheaper, I think, than the normal edition during one of those big sales. So if you can wait a little bit, it will pay off, literally. Or you could try like third-party sites, like key resellers. At your own risk, of course. Oh, god damn it, I think I messed this one up. No, I'm good. Not perfect, but good. Consider Derail Valley, but I like the real life passenger routes. Yeah, I took a spin on Derail Valley, played it in both VR and non-VR, and it is a fun game. It's fun. But I haven't played it in a ridiculous amount of time. When actually was the last time I played Derail Valley? That's a good that's gonna be quite interesting actually. July 2025, so literally a year. And I haven't had the desire to play it since then. And look, there's no hiding from the fact that TSW has its flaws, and it has a lot of flaws. But I keep coming back to it, man. I can play Simro, I can play Train Sim Classic, I can play this, I can play, I've played Derail Valley. I can dabble in other games, and I just keep coming back to TSW, man. With all its flaws. Sells in 23 days. Oh, nice. That's not far at all. 25th of June. Oh. There's nothing I really have my eyes on, though, I'll be honest. There's nothing in my wish list that's available to buy that I don't have. Yeah, saw that coming. I find Hero Valley to be very fun. You know what, Lasagna? I'm happy for you, man. They're like, it's not going to be the same story for everyone, you know. As they say, one man's trash is another's treasure. Simron seemed cool, but kind of abandoned now. You know what? It's not that it's abandoned KPR. It's that development is so... Sorry, TPR. It's that development is so slow. So embarrassingly, ridiculously slow. Like, it really is a quality sim. And the potential it had to be the, you know, the top train sim was crazy. And the devs just didn't really do anything, man. But then ultimately, the company has more interesting things that it's involved in, so it's not really a surprise. But it's just sad that so much of the potential that game had just went down the drain, man. Simco dabble in creating simulators for like real train companies. That's their main focus, and there's millions and millions of euros involved in that process. So that's where their priorities lie, which makes sense, you know. They're good for them as a business, but sucks for us as players. Is this a buffer? What's this? Oh yeah. Usually we get routed on the left, isn't it? It looks like a little robot. But I was just talking about Simmer earlier. I do want to play it again. Since the last couple of DLCs released, Vodge Junction and the Impulse, I think I've played it like 2 or 3 times at most. And so, like, I have enough respect for it to still happily buy like content for it, even though I barely play it. Boy, it is just a sad story with it, man. And they do make some interesting decisions with the game as well. That was what I just did, right? Where's the diesel train? We can't drive it anymore? Where's this one? This train? This is Fukugawa line. Yeah, where? HR 1500, HR 1100, KL 5000, KL 5000. Orange slash yellow tags. Oh, it's for limited express trains. Okay, okay, okay. Well, there's none here though. There's no orange or yellow lines here, but there is one here. So it is also available on this line, but only on particular runs. Okay, cool. Let's do it. And I guess it would be available here as well. Thank you, Carter. Okay, 5000. No, I've been wanting to like drive different trains. The hell is this? I can't tell what colors. Okay, there are no colors. So we just have like a clean spring run for the last one. I think it'll be the last one I'll do. If we can fit in some small 15-minute ride afterwards, then we can do that. I saw one that was 19 minutes. Oh, this one is the loud one, isn't it? If it gets too loud and you can't hear me, let me know. Especially if we go outside. Oh, it's not too bad here, actually. It'd be nice if the pipes had some physics to them. I remember that was what really attracted me to TSW. Whoa, it got really loud really quickly. Nabil, bro, we're seeing what we saw like last year, was it? When I just gave up on updating the game every time because it was just such a pain in the backside with all the mods. They're doing it again, man. The changes are not that deep. And it does seem like they are in a rush when they do that, isn't it? I can't imagine why. Look at his hands when I accelerate. That's so cool. When I put the throttle back. That's so cool, man. No silly eye adaptation that blinds you. Okay, that was a little bit blinding, but it was over in a jiffy. The only like really meaningful change for me in ATS is the new rest mechanic. That's got me even contemplating bringing back the fatigue simulation and using it again. Don't think I'll be doing that, but it's got me thinking about it. Scenery is beautiful, man. Like, there's actually so much to admire. It's so crazy that this is all completely fictional. I think especially the mountains look really nice. And the ones that you can see some detail on, they don't look stupidly low quality, like what you'd usually get. Bit too cautious. The brakes on this train are amazing. This train has 3 gears. Yeah, interesting. I need to remember to make the stream 60 FPS. I keep forgetting, man. Hello, Crafty. How you doing, mate? Long time, long time. Doing good, that's good to hear, man. I'm doing well myself, thank you. It's been a lot longer than a second. But it's good to see you back, man. I'm glad you're doing well. Hope you've been looking after yourself. Trying to redeem a Prime sub. There should be a thing on the screen that pops up automatically, allowing you to do so. Prime sub is like the fact that you can sub with Prime is such like a clutch thing. Because if you've got Prime anyway, then it's basically a free sub, which is very goated. Carda, are you still here, by any chance? Yes. Do you allow subs on your channel? I think I've tried to use my Prime sub on your channel before, and I didn't find like any way to do it. Not how to redeem it. I don't have any idea either. Sorry, not much help. You're not affiliated? How? How on earth are you not affiliated? Is it how often you stream? Because you have the viewership for it. I don't know, add an affiliates. I don't think it's forced. I think you can. So there's 2 options. You can leave it automatically for Twitch to decide how much ads they push, and then you could do it manually and be fully in control. And I believe if you do it manually, you can choose just not to have them at all. I'm happy to be corrected if I'm wrong. Not to always inquire the option. Really? Okay, fair enough then. That makes sense. No worries. No worries. I was just very confused because okay, I'm thinking there's no way that you're not eligible to have like people subscribe. So I was thinking, okay, maybe I don't know, I'm doing something wrong or I'm looking at the wrong place. Then I think I went into another channel, like a random other channel on my homepage, and then it was very like clear how to do it there. So I thought, okay, it's something to do with the channel specifically then. I would like to see in this game the addition of bugs on the windscreen like SimRail does. Gorgeous bridge, by the way. Send me €1 on PayPal. Cheers. I think that's pretty much what I would have gotten from the Prime sub anyway. Well, you might as well try and do the Prime sub though. Save yourself the €1. It's not going to cost you anything to sub, and you won't get ads. So you might as well, like, I don't know, try and find a way to do it. Just Google. Okay, fair enough. Thank you, man.
Hello, my dear. Don't spend
I had
it
to.
all at once.
Game is so loud. Thank you. I'll do what I can to not spend it all at once. Might be quite difficult though. Have you seen the price of diesel in this economy? Thank you, my man. Appreciate you. Crafty. Are we going to see more of you then, or is this just a rare stopover? A nice addition, Carter, that I also don't think would impact performance that much as well. I'm talking of, you know, I've talked about passengers and, you know, more AI trains. And those, I mean, the game's beautifully optimized. I'm sure the guy would be able to do that without the game's performance being affected. But generally, those things do affect performance. But something like that, I don't think it will do anything. It might even just boost your performance for the sake of it. Barely active on Twitch. Well, I'm streaming on YouTube as well. I considered today. I even spoke to the missus about going back to streaming on TikTok. I actually do want to stream on TikTok again, but it's going to cost me £20 a month to add TikTok to the list of streaming platforms, and it's an investment that I'm not getting a return on, so I don't know. AI trade should not be too hard. Well, according to, and maybe this is not the best comparison or example, But according to TSW, it's quite a task on hardware to deal with more, more AI trains. So, but then again, maybe that's not the best comparison to make, or the best source of information. No, Crafty, I do this TSW, American Truck Sim, Euro Truck Sim. Those are like my primary games. Then maybe I'll throw in some The Bus, Subway Sim 2, Simrail. I hope the camera shake isn't too bad. My phone is wobbling quite a bit, but it doesn't really seem to be having too much of an effect visually. That's a very good point, Carter. That's a very good point, actually. Yeah. Yeah. I think let's even say 10 for the long runs, the 44-minute ones. Let's say even just 10 extra trains. It's gonna be nothing like a 24-hour timetable. No, you make a good point. I didn't really consider that. Okay, so yeah, that shouldn't be a problem then. Passengers, maybe their logic, maybe a bit of tasking on the CPU, but honestly, my CPU usage is 40%. And it's been roughly around that this entire session. So I don't think that's going to have too much of an effect as well. I think maybe it's one of those things where it depends on your system. If you're already barely able to run this game, maybe those things will hurt. But if you've got some leeway, I think you should be okay. Developers done an absolutely incredible job of making everything work together easily, smoothly, and brilliantly. I need to upload like just videos of this game. My usual like no commentary, just 4K max settings. I don't think watching it at 1080p is doing it justice, even with me playing it at maxed out 4K. I mean, there's footage out there already, to be fair. Looking at this developer's work, I expect it will only sell for passengers and Odyssey style, not that looks, but the algorithm actually sitting down and Aza saying, oh yeah, 100%, 100%. Maybe throw in a bit of Subway Sim 2 as well, where there's like some logic, you know, and thought put into them as well. Hammer Joe, how you doing, mate? Long time. How do you know? How did you know I'll be playing this game? I feel like I haven't seen you around in forever. Head out. Alright, my man. Enjoy your flight sim. Can't hear me? There you go. Hopefully that's understood as a peace out. I do have. Hmm. I do have a positive feeling towards HimSim in terms of trying it out. Maybe next week's Trent Valley, and then as long as there's no other TSW DLC, the week after can be HimSim, and then Simrail. See you later, Crafty. Thank you very much for joining me, mate. And thank you for the donation as well. Appreciate you, mate. Look after yourself. Hopefully, catch you soon. If not, just look after yourself, man. Take care. It's not really a simulator. It's more like a train action game, but the realism is top notch. Good point. I think that's a valid take. I haven't heard anything on the realism of the trains in terms of their physics and sounds and all of that, to be honest. It all feels like it's pretty epic, but I can't say for sure. But I think overall, in general, that's a pretty good take, to be fair. I need someone who can explain what buttons to press. What do you think I'm gonna be good for? As someone who's never even played it before, and you've watched enough of my streams, Carter. You've seen enough of my, incompetence at times. What hope, what faith do you have? You know what? I vow to not let you down. How about that? That's my promise. I won't let you down. I'll bring it in 2 weeks' time if I remember, and if there's no other TSW DLC coming out, and we go from there. Getting the train out of emergency brake. Okay. Okay. Okay, so your expectations are still somewhat realistic. You're confident that I will get into a situation where the emergency brake will be applied. Okay. I can work with that. No problem. You know what? I downloaded the like the tablet version, the device, the mobile version. But I didn't really give it a good go, and there was only one line available. Apparently, you can install like OpenBVE content on it. I'm pressing the wrong thing again. God damn it! Somehow, still didn't speed. Incredible. You really don't do much besides speeding up and braking to stop close to a particular spot. That's not simulation. Well, one could argue that that whole sort of very precise braking. Oh, this is nice. That whole very precise braking is simulating Japanese railways. If you really wanted to be pedantic. I watch a lot of Japanese front view videos. This game catches the feeling of the Japanese railway. Well, as someone who's not super familiar with Japan, and so just going off from what I've seen in tons of pictures and videos, it's undeniably Japan. I mean, it's hard to believe it's a work of fiction. I know, like, they do the whole and shouting and everything, and that's missing from the game. But I guess that's there for you to do if you want. Wouldn't it be the strangest thing I've heard from train simmers? You know what, Cardo? I briefly stopped by your stream yesterday. I think it was. I was out, and I was in the car parked after I finished streaming myself. And was it then or was it a different time? I don't know. But anyway, I think it was yesterday. And you were playing JR East. Just from the preview, I didn't actually click on it, but just from the home preview on Twitch, the homepage, it looks very high quality. It was the best, it was the best looking footage I've seen yet from that game. And that made me think, okay, maybe there is something to this after all. I don't know obviously what line it was, but I remember it was very green. You were driving through somewhere very green, but it was the colors were really nice, really really nice, and it looked like it could pass on for a very good looking game. But I only did stop by for a few seconds, so maybe, you know, if I had seen more, I wouldn't be as positive about it. What's FMV? Joe. Something video. I know it's video, but that's why I've always been super critical about it, because I just don't get it, like playing a video basically. But that was like what I saw yesterday on Cardo's stream was the first time I've begun to open the door of understanding that genre, if that makes sense. Full motion video, okay, yeah. Maybe I should just give that another go. Like at one point I had it on my PC with like all the DLCs. Hey! Our first A! Oh, that was ironic, isn't it? Hey, our first. Anyway, that's cool. Nice one. Good ending. Very nice. Happy about that. Not an S, so you guys get to save your wallet. But we're getting close. While I was streaming, card that I know, right? Thank you. Thank you. We're level 17. Start at level 8. So we've made some good progress. It's actually started to count some kilometers now, which is nice. Oh, I'm happy about that. That was a nice surprise. Very cool. Very nice. Very cool. So yeah, that's it for this week of Running Train. I don't know, because of the DLC coming out next week for TSW, I don't think there's going to be much other than TSW on the schedule. It comes out the 9th of June, right? So is the 9th of June a Thursday or a Tuesday? It's a Tuesday. Okay, so that means I'll be streaming the early access on Monday. And then, yeah, it will just be TSW for the rest of the week, I think, to be completely honest. Just doing the journey mode stuff. So then Running Train may not be back until the following week, starting 15th of June. Hopefully by then there would have been an update or two for the game. I do always look forward to a Running Train update. You know, you just know it's going to be good. Even if it's a small one, it's going to be good. But yeah, I think I'm going to leave it there for tonight. We'll be back tomorrow, 2 p.m. BST, with The Boss and the newly updated Hamburg. So hopefully that should be good. I am looking forward to that. And hopefully I'll catch many of you guys there. If you haven't joined the Discord yet, please do so. You can see the schedule that's uploaded usually on a Sunday for the rest of the week. So you'll know what I'm playing, when I'm playing it, what time I'm playing it. And just a bunch of other stuff as well. It's a good place to be. So yeah, thank you very much for joining me. Carda, Lasagna, Joe, Crafty. Who else has been here? Roscud was here, Nabil was here, Els was here, and anyone else that I've missed that's been in chat, or if you've just been lurking in the background. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Have a lovely rest of your day. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Stay safe. Your health is your wealth. And until next time, peace out.